If you want to come along with me on another photo adventure, then stay tuned. This video is for you. Today I'm in the great state of Ohio, and I am at a place called Hocking Hills, which I've never been to before. It's near the Wayne National Forest. I understand there's a lot of trails here and a lot of good places to see and things to do. So that's where my adventure takes me. Now, I did not bring my DSLR with me, and instead I'm going to be using my iPhone exclusively to take the shots. And as I do in previous videos, just keep an eye on the metadata that I put on each of these images in the upper left. I'm not sure what I'm going to be taking today, but come along for the adventure. And I hope you're having a great day and a great week, and just try to relax and unwind. This is just to give you a brief respite from your everyday life. So sit back, relax, and let's go have some fun. I got in late last night, so I camped out at the trailhead. And again, as I mentioned, this is my first time coming down here. So I think you're going to get a little more commentary than images from me today. But I can tell you starting out that it definitely has a different feel than Red River Gorge. So Red River Gorge is more, I don't know, it's more rustic, I guess, and unimproved type trails. They still have improved trails out there, but I mean, if you look at where we are, and I don't know if you could see behind me, but these trails are wide. You know, there's a lot of room here. Now, it's not too busy because it is a Thursday. Now, we have some beautiful weather here. I mean, we're in mid to upper 70s, low humidity. That's going to be the high. So the low at night gets down in the 50s. I was tempted to go down to Red River Gorge and, you know, catch the fog in the valley, but I've been there a good number of times, and I plan to go back for sure, but I thought I'd do something a little different, just get out here. So I'm going to keep on moving, and right now I'm on the, I think I'm on the Gorge Overlook Trail. So for those who have been here, I think you'll know where I am at this point. This should be about a 10-mile hike here is what I'm shooting for this morning, and then we'll see what the afternoon holds. I plan to camp out tonight, get up, do a little more hiking tomorrow, and then make my way back. So that's the game plan. Let's move forward. So on my hike, I came across this. And this is actually pretty cool. It's been a pretty straightforward hike. You know, there's a lot of sort of man-made features out here. As I mentioned, this is not Red River Gorge. The more I hike on this trail, and the more I see just how improved the trail is, it kind of gives me this feeling like, I don't know, it's sort of it's much more family friendly out here, I think, than a Red River Gorge. Red River Gorge is more for the, in my opinion, you know, more of the adventure seekers, and there's a lot more climbing, there's a lot more roughage. It's just more primitive. And again, this is just in a very relatively short amount of time of me being out here at Hocking Hills. So we'll see what the rest of this day brings, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of the video. This is the Ash Cave Fire Tower. I know the sun's in the way there, but it's 80 foot, and I think I'm going to go ahead and spend a little time climbing up it, and see what it looks like from the top. Should be able to get some good views and maybe snap a landscape shot or two. So let's see what it's all about. Nothing quite like climbing up 80 feet to get to the top, only to find out that the hatch is locked. There's no way I'm getting in that thing. There's a padlock right here, and not able to get up there. Although I'm probably as close as you can get, and we got a really good view out here. Oh, you can see all around. It's actually pretty nice. I could see where, if there was a suspected fire, I think that's what these towers are really intended for, that you could run up and get a better visual of where it's at, and keep watch for fires. So yeah, I'll tell you, getting up here wasn't that easy. It's 80 feet of steep steps. I finally made it to the Ash Cave, which is what this is. And it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty impressive to take a look at. Now I'm about 6 miles in. I came off the Buckeye Trail. So there's actually a shorter way here. If you can actually park much closer to the Ash Cave, but I really wanted to get some miles in and get some exercise in. I'm making my way over to Cedar Falls, which is kind of on my way back. And you know, as I've noticed, it just seems to be a common theme that there's a lot of accessibility here. And I mean, it's kind of nice. And I imagine if it's a weekend and you got weather like this, it's going to be packed. But you can see it's kind of the pathway down to the falls right here. I'm discovering that the state of Ohio is pretty serious about staying on the trail here at Hocking Hills. There's a sign right here, and I've seen a few of these, but it's basically letting you know that you need to stay on the trail, and if you don't, it's illegal and it's punishable by fine. So something to think about if you're in the area. Right here is a suspension bridge, which I'm getting ready to cross, and this is actually pretty cool. You can see that this has been around for many years, and I just get this feeling like it makes for some good photos, especially in the golden hours, which we're not at the golden hour right now, but it's just cool to see and experience it. Now, people usually ask me what I take with me, and I don't know, there's other questions that come at me about snacks and trying to stay healthy on the trail and all that good stuff. So, just real quick, I've got my Alton backpack on right here. You can't quite see it. It's kind of slung over just one shoulder because I'm snacking on an apple right here. Now, I'll bring some mandarin oranges, apples, a little bit of trail mix, maybe some nuts, things like that. You know, it just depends on what I'm doing, how long I'm out for. And I also bring, I try to bring ample water because, you know, I can run out of food, but you don't want to run out of water. And especially depending on the weather of the day. If it's really hot and humid, you're going to sweat a lot, so you're going to need to replenish that. So you're going to need yourself some good water. I'm noticing that a lot of these trails are super wide. I mean, you could put a group of people on these trails and, you know, not have any issues passing through. And I'm not just talking a short stretch of trail. I'm talking miles of trails are like this. It really tells me that the state of Ohio and their Department of Natural Resources put some time and effort and some money into all of this. And it really, it really seems like it's family friendly. You know, there's not a lot of major concerns out here. I don't feel like it's really tight and confined and, you know, all of those typical things that you might encounter when you're just really out in the back country, just bushwhacking. It's time to hit the East and West Rim Trail. Now, this is a loop that goes, I think, just 2 or 3 miles. We're going to get up here and see what this is all about. And the adventure continues. Now, this is what I find cool. I find it that you've got a ridgeline right here, and you can see the valley. And that's what's cool. I mean, this is actually a really cool, you know, landscape to see. And this is what I'm a little more used to when you go to Red River Gorge. But they do have some of that here, and you can see the tops of the trees, so that's really cool. Starting to get late in the day, and I've had a couple of really good long hikes, but I'm trying to squeeze one more in, and this is to a place called the Brick House. So this is really just a loop, and it's not that long. But I hear that it's worthy of taking a look at. So let's see if we can squeeze this in and what it has in store for us. This is actually a massive cave. And I don't know how well we can hear it, but there is something that's up in there. Looks like there's kind of a spot to sort of get into the cave here. Let's see. I'm gonna get quiet for a minute and see if you guys can hear this. Alright, let's get quiet for a minute. I don't know if the microphone in the video is gonna pick it up. Alright, I snapped a few shots up in there, but as I made my way through after the video was off, there are things flying around up in there, and they're not bats. One of them came down and flew right over my head. I couldn't see it because it's dark in there. So, pretty cool. I just came down the set of steps you see back here. These are all stone steps. But when you're down in the valley like this, you can really see just the enormity of the outcrop on the rock here. And I don't know if the video is going to really do it justice, but it really is breathtaking when you sit here and you look up. I might see if I can get a photo or two, but I don't think it's really going to do it justice. But I will tell you that cave up there, that's pretty awesome. If you're down in this area, it's worth stopping in. I'm coming off the brick house trail, and you know what keeps going through my mind is, imagine taking some photos in there with like your shutter wide open on bulb mode, and you can influence the lighting inside that cave, maybe even with some colors. I mean, I think there's a lot you could do with that, and it's pretty cool to think about that. Just my 2 cents of it, though. So this sun is definitely going down, and I didn't take a whole lot of shots today. At least I don't think I did. But I got a lot of miles in, did a lot of hiking. And really, it's just a matter of taking a break, you know, from that everyday life. And that's what this gave me the opportunity to do, just to connect with nature, you know, and find that foundation. So it was a great day. Now, I do have some thoughts. I got to get my tent set up tonight, but in the morning, I may go for a hike or two, not quite sure, but I do have another thought in mind. And I'm going to hold back on that. We'll just see what tomorrow brings and see where this video goes. So stay tuned, because in just a few moments, we're going to find out. Well, because we have some great weather, I really had some good sleep. It was probably, I don't know, it was in the 50s, maybe low 50s last night. But the weather's good, no clouds in the sky. So I'm up early, and I'm off on another trail. Now, I didn't really catch the sunrise, and I mean, I was awake when it was coming up, but there's really not like the massive scenic views, you know, like you get down at Red River Gorge. So I'm just on another trail, really just trying to get some extra fitness in. But I do have another thought, and that is I'm gonna hike a trail out here. I may do another one, I don't know, but then I'm gonna take some back roads and make my way over to Dayton, and I think I'm gonna try to get to the Air Force Museum. Now, I don't know if you've ever been out there, but if not, it is awesome. I've been out there before, and I usually reserve that kind of trip for bad weather days, because you're indoors when you're at that museum. So that's going to be where I end up a little later today, and then eventually making my way back home. So we'll have some fun on this trail, see if we can get a shot or two. I'm not expecting a whole lot out here. Again, it's more about just getting fit and getting some miles in for the day before we jump back in the vehicle and you know, get the back country adventure while we make our way to Dayton. I'm just finishing up with this trail. I only got a few shots in there, and it's simply because this was this trail was relatively long, but it was just your basic trail. There was no payout as far as views go or anything spectacular to see. It was more of just, fitness and getting some miles in. It is time to jump in the vehicle and make that road trip over to the Air Force Museum, and we'll see if we can see anything along the way. So let's go make that adventure and have a little more fun. I made it to the Air Force Museum. Now, the trip out here wasn't that bad. It was just on some back roads from where I was before. It took me a couple hours to get here, but I can tell you that there's a lot going on inside. And there's so much that goes on that it's worthy of a dedicated video or multiple videos. So if you'd like to see that, be sure to post a comment in the description below. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make my way in. I'm going to bring the camera in with me, but really just for a few kind of quick panoramic shots and maybe an image or two, just to give you a little taste of what it's like on the inside. And after that, I'm going to enjoy myself, and then I'll give you a few final thoughts, and we'll close this video down. I just got out of the Air Force Museum, and wow, I mean, there's so much to understand and take in there. I just really enjoyed it. If those planes could talk, imagine the stories they could tell. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed these last couple of days, and I hope you've enjoyed them with me. I really just like to kind of break away occasionally and detox from the world of technology and reconnect with Mother Nature. And for me, it's a matter of getting out and hiking around and just enjoying the mountains and the scenery and all of that good stuff. Now, my thoughts on Hocking Hills is that it's a great place, but it's not Red River Gorge, and I knew that going into it. They're both good. I think they're both great in their own ways, but if you think that, Hocking Hills is Red River Gorge or Red River Gorge is Hocking Hills, that's not the case. They're, other than the fact that you're hiking on trails, right? But Hocking Hills to me is a little more refined. It's a little more family friendly in my opinion. Red River Gorge is more rustic and primitive, and it's what I like about that location as well. I believe in always bringing a compass. 100% you need a compass in Red River Gorge. At Hocking Hills, I really don't think you get lost out there because these trails are so well marked, and there's a lot of people out there, and I think you would have a lot of fun and be in good shape out there. So that's about it for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. It's called Real World. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.